Katie. How are you?
Oh, real good. How are you?
Okay. How's your week been?
Ooh, busy.
Yeah. Last night wasn't great, huh?
Blah.
I had to put out a live video to feed my
Oh,
need to entertain.
oh, I saw it. That beard was
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're rocking a Stevie Nicks vibe.
Well, this helps these headphones stay in because I touch my hair a lot because it's touching me a lot, and then they fall out.
Ah. Well,
So they're kind of on purpose.
at least you're not wearing a mask.
No need.
Where do you fall on that?
I fall on no need. No need for a mask.
Okay. And you work, not to like out you or anything, but you kind of work with the public, right?
Yes.
What percentage of the public?
Outside.
What percentage of the public would you say wears a mask?
Maybe half?
And you don't wear a mask at all, ever?
No.
Okay.
Never.
I wear a mask. I don't wear a mask because I'm afraid of COVID. I wear a mask because masks are badass.
You like
Masks are awesome, and everybody should wear a mask. Everybody's a superhero. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I was talking on the live thing last night. I don't know where I fall on the whole. Like, I totally understand the desire to, do what you want to do and, not be affected by another person's decision. But then again, the people who were affected kind of have the right to say the same thing. So I don't know.
But do you feel like if your mask is working well for you, why does you care if I'm wearing one? Like, doesn't that?
Yeah, I'm not even getting into the logical fallacies of all of it. Like, that's
Because, and here's my real trouble with it over anything else. These people are coming up and they're wearing their gardening gloves or whatever, restaurant thin gloves and their mask and big sunglasses and hats and acting like they're all safe. They're in their car by themselves. They're touching their keys. They're touching the door handle. Same gloves. They come up. They want to touch every freaking thing we have to offer and then touch all their cash. And then it just doesn't make sense.
so.
I guess I don't understand. So I'm struggling with it.
There is that, but it does cut down on the aerosol contamination. What am I trying to say? Infection. Like the contaminants in the air. It doesn't. It's not if you're. So if somebody with COVID, like full blown COVID, sneezes in your face and you have a mask, anything other than like a biomask, yeah, you're gonna catch it. But it
Right.
still does a whole lot to cut down a decent percentage. It's not foolproof. It's not 100% effective, but it's moderately effective. But it's still less, like COVID itself is still less severe than infecting people with
Regular
fucking
flu.
syphilis on purpose.
Right.
So,
Monsters.
and I would like to think that the CDC and everybody that's directing this response has an altruistic goal, but we see what the fucking CDC has done. We see what they're interested in. So
It's dollar bills.
It's not even that; it's power.
Yeah, which equates.
Well, you
Same thing.
use the dollar to get the power. Like they're not. Yeah,
Is that your new rap song?
that's my rap name. It's long and complicated like that because I'm a pretentious fuck.
Papa Darby.
So that reminds me, this is the Higher Minds podcast. I am Papa Darby,
I'm Katie.
and you are listening. That's a little joke.
Woohoo. Yeah. I instantly, as it was coming out of my mouth, I was like, you shouldn't be saying this.
Yeah. But so, and then I also brought up the whole liberal media thing, trying to talk about all of the conspiracy theories that are proliferating media right now. And we are absolutely
Yes.
contributing, you and I and Scott.
Yeah. Yeah. Every day.
And so my thing is I believe a lot of conspiracy theories. I think they're all possible, but it doesn't affect the way that I treat another person. It doesn't affect my day to day. I still go up and I still try to be a contributing member to society. So whether or not these are true, it
Good
doesn't
idea.
really do anything. It doesn't do anything for any particular person's day to day.
I heard you say that, and I even thought about this. The only thing that I feel like affects me directly, hard to say directly, but just as a human being, is the whole children trafficking. That, no matter what, that's an innocent child, and I feel like now that I know, it's just as much my responsibility as anyone else who knows to do something, and even if
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
just talk
and
about
okay,
it.
so there's
You
that,
know what I mean?
and we know that's real, we know that's true, we know that they're covering it up, we know that there's a mass effort to cover it up, and whether or not COVID is lab related and meant to infect us, whether or not Russia has infiltrated the White House and is trying to turn us all communists, all whatever the conspiracy is, we know that the ultra elite and the powerful were fucking children and are
Yes.
in the midst covering it up. We know this. Which
I
reminds
read
me.
an interesting. Oh, sorry.
No,
Go
no,
ahead.
no, no, no. Go ahead. I was stepping all over you.
Okay, no, it was just, it reminds me of another conspiracy I read that was saying that yes, COVID was meant to be used as like a depopulation like tactic and scare and distraction, but that this conspiracy previously knew about it and used it to kind of like counter them, and that this COVID was a huge, then what they used as a cover up to sting a lot of these menial people, break up these tunnels underground, that comfort and mercy were used for children. That's why all those little rooms were set up. It wasn't definitely wasn't contagion. You know what I mean? Like they
So,
weren't set up to like keep it from spreading. So it was just an interesting with a lot of little things that were like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like it might not be true, but it was just
and
interesting.
in that, the conspiracy is the conspiracy. There's levels. It goes deep.
Like an onion.
It goes to the top and way down to the depths of your bowels.
Yeah, and I don't want anyone in my bowels really.
So what are we talking about today, Katie?
We're talking about a couple things. Dear David, I learned about that today, yesterday, the day before.
Whenever the fuck it was brought up.
I'd never heard of it before.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it before.
Oh,
Never.
I'd heard about it a couple years ago, and
So-
it creeped me out. But I never like when I heard about it, the author was in the middle of the story. Like the story goes on for like months, and so
Years.
oh, is it years? I didn't even realize that.
It's like literally like 2 years.
So yeah, when I first heard about it, he hadn't completed the story yet. So
Yeah. Well, I ended up watching a handful of videos because I didn't realize it was because there was like breaks and then people thought it was like over. And then there'd be a whole nother video with the whole second part that I didn't know existed, and then a third part. And then I went through and read most of them. Because I felt like I needed like to see these pictures with my own eyes, and because I don't like really get down with it all. So
what did you
I'm not
think?
saying I don't believe it's real or didn't happen. I think it definitely showed when the pictures became a stretch. You know what I mean? Like you had me for a while. I was
Yeah.
like, oh fuck, this might be true.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, here's a full blown kid. Like, no. Like it looked like a doll. It looked just unreal. And he worked for BuzzFeed, and I thought that was interesting. I'm like, he might have a lot
Oh,
of
you did
weird-
more research into it than I did. I didn't realize you worked for BuzzFeed.
Oh, I got roped in.
Nice.
I got roped in heavy. I know. I was like, I couldn't. I'm like, I just kept writing.
Did you like it?
Writing. I'm like, ugh. I mean, it's always interesting to me. I just have like, you really got to prove beyond a shadow of doubt to me for me to be like, yeah, ghost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you
So-
should visit the Stanley.
I'm not saying I don't believe it. I used to work at Fridays with a guy who bartended there, and he used to travel, and he owned like all kinds of Ghostbuster shit, and that's what he did. He traveled and he did ghost encounters for people and like all kinds of stuff, and it's always interesting. I'm not saying I don't believe it. I've just never experienced it myself to be like, yeah, everything is that. Like it still needs to be pretty rock solid for me to believe it.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I'm pretty skeptical, but um like scientifically speaking, you can't prove a negative, and honestly there is a there can be a physical explanation for things like that. So I accept that maybe that shit's real. I've never seen it. I've got
Exactly.
absolutely no experience. Well, okay. So
Well,
so there was this one time actually I went to on a ghost walk, a ghost tour thingy,
oh,
and I put my head up into in like an attic space. It was one of those small attic spaces. Um I was with a group, so not everybody went up. Like not everybody would fit. So people were just taking turns sticking their head up. And so I stuck my head up into the attic, and like I heard some noises, and there was this weird growl next to me, like right next, like behind my head, next to my ear and everything. And like I didn't think anything of it. It was just, it was attic noises. And then we
yeah,
went down, and then they started saying, all this stuff. These people experience all these weird different things. And that was one of the things they said. I didn't even say, and they asked me if I heard or saw anything. I took a bunch of pictures, nothing, and I said no, nothing. I didn't hear anything. And then they said that people hear growls right next to their ears, and I was like, oh
oh,
shit. Well, that did happen.
maybe.
So I don't know. Maybe.
I see. I don't know, but like I've seen orbs in my own pictures, and so like
What is that,
I've
dust?
seen that
Me
aspect
too.
of it. Like no, because they can be colors, and that's interesting. So
I don't know. It's
mm,
yeah.
I've seen enough of my own and like firsthand friends that I would like, but that could be more spirits, not. But are ghosts and spirits the same thing? Like then you got to break into it way more than I know about.
I would say
So
they're the same.
I
They're
don't know.
synonyms. But anyway, so okay,
Are they?
so we're talking about
Okay.
that because for the last couple of episodes, like honestly, this was my call. I've been getting sick of the beating up of the government shit. I mean, yeah, they do some shitty shit and it's interesting. It tells a good story, but I don't know. I wanted a change of pace this week, so we're doing that, and then also, there's this thing going around. People are getting it. It's called COVID, and they've been reporting on that, and there's some other things that haven't been getting reported on, which is this alien fucking news.
Woo,
I mean,
crazy.
what the fuck? If this shit came out during Orson Welles' time, people would be burning fucking cities down. So I mean, I don't know what's going on. It's insane that this shit isn't getting talked about. But I did research. I did look it up. I looked up the official military report of the sequence of
Yeah.
events, what happened, and I'm going to tell you about it because, fuck, who the fuck? Nobody's talking about it. What the fuck? What the fuck?
And this came out like in what?
Yep, that year. That's that was smoke signals for 2014.
2017. 14.
Yeah, I think it was 14. Oh, so yeah. No, actually these
Wow.
it came out in 14 or 17, I forget. I don't think I wrote that down, but these occurrences happened in 2004. And I mean and these are just the ones that they've classified. Their senator he's no longer the senator. Oh shit, what the fuck was his name? He was majority leader or minority whip or something. Anyway, he was on one of the intelligence committees, and he's, can't talk about the shit, but he says, and this shit is just the tip of the iceberg. There is so much more evidence and so much more research that y'all don't know about.
Right,
And
obviously.
yeah, and I so want to fucking know. Just fucking tell us. Ah!
Why do we need a space force if there isn't anything to protect in space?
I hate Trump. Space Force is a great fucking idea. Like, I love Space Force.
I think it proves enough on its own, just having it.
Well, okay, so I was under the impression, though, that, and I voiced this before, that we already had a Space Force. It was just secret.
I mean, probably, but to come out and be like, hey, this is a thing, it's fully government funded, like.
Yeah, right. You
For
can
what
come
reason?
and sign up and volunteer for it and shit and scrub our floors and cut our onions. Yeah.
and be sacrificed to aliens. Like, it could be anything.
Right? I mean, I would totally die at the sword of an alien. That would be fun. Not really. I would like that not as much. But I want to talk to one. Okay, so have you ever seen that piece of shit fucking Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull?
Yeah.
Like that fucking abomination that came out of the taint hole of fucking what's his name? Who directed it? Why am I Spielberg? God damn, why did I fucking forget his name? Yeah. That completely fell, just plopped onto the floor out of the taint hole, not even the asshole or pee hole, the taint hole of Steven Spielberg. And he scooped it up and he said, this will make a good show. And it didn't. Anyway, so at the end of that, What's Her Nuts has all this, like, I guess, telepathically injected information into her brain, and she goes all crazy and tells him to stop and gets all crazy. I would totally die that way. Like, besides that and dying during a blowjob are the two ways I want to go.
For the right amount of money, I'm sure you can make that happen.
Yeah. Well, one of them. I mean, I don't know how much money will aliens take? Like, how much would that cost for aliens to inject all of their knowledge into my brain? I would imagine it would take a lot of money, like our money for us.
To study you, they might do it for free. Be that first
You mean
one.
anymore? It's like 3 inches wide. They've got, they're really, they don't have much mercy with their probes.
Well,
anyway, so my sources are abcnews.com and their YouTube, and a YouTube show called Infographics. Now, I don't generally just use YouTube, but I did this time because I did cross-reference, and they actually had good information on both sides. So unidentified aerial phenomena. So we're going to start this with, we didn't really discuss this beforehand, but I'm assuming we're going to do mine, because mine's kind of short, the alien portion, and I think Dear David's probably more interesting. So I figure that's the way we'll do it.
You do whatever you want. I'm going to try and fix this. Right. If I can find it in my hair.
All right. So I'm going to start. So unidentified aerial phenomenon, UAPs is what they are calling them now. So I noticed that a new series on Netflix called Hangar One. It seemed that MUFON, which stands for the Mutual UFO Network, who are a collection of UFO groups who have been studying this stuff for decades, has made a series about their work, and they go deep. I love this stuff. Just to give a shout out to Last Podcast on the Left, who gave us a shout out about some of our shows before.
Cool beans.
But they're mostly a group of guys. But they're a group of guys who've done some good, serious work. Their apparent opinion, however, is that this work must remain very dry and very scientific, like the old Oxford professors. They take themselves very seriously, so serious to the point that no one takes them seriously. As we all know, they're often a joke. Now, this series seems to be the next step in a new propaganda war against a propaganda war campaign with Tom DeLonge's company, To the Stars Academy of Arts and Sciences. That's the name of the company. To the Stars Academy of Arts and Sciences. It seems that it took someone who had a lot of money, established fame, and someone who didn't take themselves so seriously to move the needle in an extraterrestrial life research, or move the needle on it. For a long time, of course, it did hit a dead end. There was all these secret research and leaks and stuff from the UFO crash in Roswell and 47 with Eisenhower and Project Blue Book and all that shit. You familiar with all that? Oh, really?
Some.
Okay, go back and listen to our aliens episode.
All right. Okay. I feel like I did. Maybe I didn't catch all of it. I swear I listened to part of it.
Well,
so I was like, yeah, I want to read more about this.
Honestly, it's different reading about it and researching it and just kind of listening to it, like, you know.
Right.
So, not that listening to this is not going to help you. Just don't, like, we've made the disclaimer before. Do not repeat us back to your teachers when you write this information down in your essays. So, November 14th, 2004. Oh, one more thing about the MUFON Tom DeLonge rivalry. I think it's a good rivalry in that I think it will advance terrestrial and UFO research because they're clearly here. They're clearly real. There's
video footage.
The science says it's probably true. The math says it's probably true. Now we have video footage. There's been anecdotal evidence and stories for the last.
And there's definitely conspiracy theories.
There is. I mean, fuck. Ancient aliens. Apparently, they've been here since the Egyptians, Mesopotamians, and shit. Maybe even before that.
Well, makes sense.
Maybe they had a hand in shaping our world. I don't know. Now I sound like that fucking crazy guy. Aliens. But maybe. Who knows? It was aliens, man. I need to smoke some more weed. November 14th, 2004. The Nimitz aircraft carrier, along with a naval squadron, is conducting drills in preparation of invading Iraq. Included was the USS Princeton. So at some point, it detected about 8 objects flying on radar south along the Pacific coast. The objects moved in formation extremely slowly at about 120 miles per hour, which is slower than any aircraft can fly. If you know anything about the physics of aircrafts and air travel and stuff, you need a particular speed in order to achieve a certain lift and to be able to coast. 120 miles an hour, way too slow for that.
Ain't it?
So they requested confirmation that they were there, which was confirmed by other vessels. Eventually, the objects disappear and are forgotten. Then dozens of other contacts were made by the Princeton doing the same thing. One radar operator reported over 100 contacts. They were flying at around 80,000 feet, which way above the altitude for commercial jets and almost all military aircraft. Usually commercial jets are at about 30,000 feet. So we're talking about 50,000 feet. Like, this is super, super thin oxygen. Like, satellites are kind of up there. Satellites are still a little further up. But since they aren't threatening the battle group, no action is taken. What are you cheesing about?
You don't want to
No,
know.
I do.
It's just going to make work for you. But Ace just came out here and just like everything but cussed me out. Because he wants me to come. He wants this phone so he can play a game on it.
Oh.
And he comes out here and he's like, come on. And I'm trying so hard not to laugh because it just makes it worse for him. But it's so funny to me.
After this is over, tell him. After this is over, please tell him thank you for his sacrifice.
Oh my god, fuck Roblox, that's what I say.
So, since no action is, there's no action taken. So later, 2 FA-18 Hornets are conducting drills. Now, these are Boeing FA-18E and FA-18F Super Hornets, which are twin-engine, carrier-capable, multi-role fighter aircrafts variant based on the McDonnell Douglas FA-18 Hornet. The FA-18E single-seat and FA-18F tandem-seat variants are larger and more advanced derivatives of the FA-18C and D Hornet. The Super Hornet has an alternate internal 20mm M61 rotary cannon and can carry air-to-air missiles and air-to-surface weapons. Additional fuel can be carried up to 5 external fuel tanks. Excuse me, and the aircraft can be configured as an airborne tanker by adding an external air refueling system. So, and also they at the time were the top of the class fighter jets. They greatly outmaneuvered any other aircraft in the sky. So they were conducting drills, preparing for war when more of these objects appeared. The fighters were told to break off their drills. The fighters were told to break off their drills and track the object. As they approached, and this was only one object this time. As they approached, they noticed that a large object just under the surface, about the size of a 747, alongside there was a object just under the surface, about the size, surface of the water, about the size of a 747, and alongside it was a smaller tic-tac shaped object. That object had no wings, exhaust windows, or any noticeable means of propulsion. Later, the military assumes that it's a clandestine nuclear sub they weren't supposed to know about. That object that was about the size of a 747. So, as the Hornets are descending in a circular pattern, the tic tac circular pattern, the tic tac followed their pattern and starts to ascend, matching them upward. The lead pilot decides to directly fly down into the object in a more aggressive maneuver, and then the tic tac emerges from the water and accelerates out of sight. At that point, to calculate the object speed at 42,000 miles an hour. That's faster than anything that we are capable of by far. So, all right. So, okay, and this to compare it to our fastest jet, with a clock speed of 100 miles per hour, faster than its closest competition, along with a personal account of the jet traveling upwards of Mach 3.3. The Lockheed SR-1 Blackbird is the fastest jet on the planet, and it's not even a close race. So, I mean, this thing is 3 orders of magnitude times 4 faster than our fastest jet. So, yeah. So, they lost it. The Hornets, they lost. They sent out 2 more Hornets to try to track the object, but they arrived too late and weren't able to track it. So there's 4 Hornets now coming back to the aircraft. So as those 4 were arriving back to the carrier, they sent out 4 more jets, and this time it was armed with special cameras to track it, infrared and some HD whatever. And so these 4 jets were able to pick up the object pretty quickly on its camera, and it was able to follow it. And you can see it. This is one of Tom DeLonge's videos that you see. Like, it's very clearly something that's flying very low, very quickly, with no obvious like means of propulsion or anything. So, and to this day, engineers viewing the video cannot figure out how this thing flew. They're here, guys. They're here. They're flying among us. They're in the Pacific. They're flying low. They're tracking our nuclear subs. They want us for dinner. They serve a nice Pinot with a brisket.
Maybe.
Not to eat us. They don't want us for dinner to eat us. Maybe. I mean,
Maybe
the Pacific is a nice
vacationing.
place to go. Just let the fucking little.
Listen, this is like the drive-in right now. Like, this is the shit show to watch. If you're gonna come visit Earth for a bit,
You know
like,
what? You are
there's a
not.
lot
You are not
going
wrong.
on right
Like, if these beings are able to cover these vast distances, we know that they're way more advanced than us. Like, hands down, just out of the box, they're way more advanced. And if they're that advanced, they probably have some time traveling devices. And if they have some time traveling devices, 2020 is the fucking year to come back to Earth and check shit out. Sit down, write in your little notebook, do a little anthropology.
for sure.
Yeah. Take in the sights before everything blows up.
Right, before Earth ends.
Anyway. So, and the Bible said that there would be aliens and ghosts, and so now you have ghosts, right?
It didn't say there wasn't. So I don't know. I can't get
Except
over
for
that
us.
no one's
You know what?
talking about it.
Now that we know that the last
Except
podcast
for
on the left
us.
has given us a shout out. Maybe this will proliferate that discussion, and more people will start talking about alien shit.
Yes. They need to listen. They're afraid
It's
of
the most
flu,
important
but
thing
they're
that's
not
going
afraid
on.
of aliens.
It's
like,
the most important.
What? Literally. So then is COVID just a distraction for something they're trying to slide under, hoping no one will pay attention to the fact there's fucking aliens and they just admitted it and there's video?
you can't let a good tragedy go to waste.
Is it a good tragedy or is
That's
it
a great tragedy. Are you kidding me? This is
No, I'm saying, but is it real? Is it
oh.
like it's a tragedy and they're using it, or is it just set up? It's
Does that
just
matter? It's here.
I mean, I guess
No.
not, but it sucks. It would be even worse than if it was just. I mean, it would be better if it just happened over someone released this onto us for the sake of a distraction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's so fucked up.
Yeah.
And if that's what people are insinuating and that's what it is, like, we gotta talk about it. We gotta.
Yeah. Absolutely. You know what?
Now it's our duty.
Yeah, you said duty. So I'd like to take this time to remember our newly departed co-host, Scott. He's not dead. He just isn't in the same place that he was. And so he's not here.
His butthole is fine.
Yes, he's fine. And so we just want to say, hey, Scott, what up, yo? He's sitting in his chair thinking, smoking a joint, thinking, what's up, Darby? What's up, Katie?
But I could almost hear that in my head.
Anyway, so, dear David, huh? What's up with that?
Yes.
What's up with that?
Well. Yeah, like I had never heard of it until you texted it, and I was like, okay, let me Google that real quick. And then I watched the initial video, which was like a half hour long.
The one that I sent you?
And she just...
Okay.
Yeah,
I want to say about
and that
Sniper Wolf real quick. My son watches her all... Yeah.
Is that girl?
My son watches her all the time.
Oh, okay. Oh my
God,
like
he
her?
has such a crush on her. I mean, I get it too.
I cannot... I mean, she's totally cute. Absolutely. But... why does she talk like that? It's not natural. That's not her voice. Why the fuck does she do it? That is so... I was struggling to get through these videos. And then when she would like get caught up talking about something and talk in her natural voice, I'm like, oh, that's so nice. You should do that.
Sniper Wolf, like when you hear this, what's up?
We love you, but talk in your real voice, girl.
You're doing what you do. You're doing it just fine.
Clearly, she's got it like 20,000 subscribers, 20 million
like
subscribers.
Us, right?
Totally.
Anyway.
So, anywho, August 7th, 2017, Adam Ellis, with Twitter handle Moby Dickhead. So he started posting about a dream he had with this kid with a deformed, fucked up head. He had like
that's
a big
fucked
dent
up.
in it that was in his... It is. It was like he drew a little sketch of it, the first one. He must be an artist because that wasn't like a normal person.
Yeah, he didn't just throw that on there.
So, no, absolutely not. And it's just like a kid with a big head and like a quarter of it's missing. Pretty much.
Yeah. It's a sketch, but you notice it's healed over.
Totally. It's like his skull is... Well, I didn't get a good enough look to see if it was indented or if that was just brain matter and it's like the skin was just chilling next to it. I need a clear picture. So,
and I mean, isn't it the case that that some ghosts come back as their fully formed person, and so maybe this kid was just special in life?
Maybe like window licking special. Is that what you're saying?
That's what you said, but
I know, but is that what you mean? Is that what you meant by that?
I mean, that's what you meant, but okay, I'll go with that.
What the fuck ever. I hate you. Oh, whatever. So,
okay.
The kid like he's sitting he has his green chair in his bedroom, right? In this dream, this kid is sitting in this green chair, just staring at him, and he's supposedly, this guy, Adam, has sleep paralysis and he couldn't move, and he just knew this kid was like coming at him and he couldn't do anything about it, and he just laid there, and right before he touched him he woke up. So he tweets this out,
You ever
and
had
that
those dreams?
starts
Have you had a
this.
dream like that though? Like,
Where someone like touches me?
well,
No.
like something creepy happens, and right before, like, it touches you, or like something like you make contact with it, you wake up. Okay, I've had dreams like that, and I can
When I
identify with that.
dream, I'm like, I'm just watching myself in the dream.
Always, every single time.
Always, every single
Huh.
dream I've ever
I wonder what
had.
that says. Like, because I'm not. I do sometimes,
I watch it.
but most of actually.
I don't know.
Holy shit! So
I dream in color. I dream very vivid, and I am always watching it like a
interesting.
movie. Yeah, it's just who I am. He tweets this dream out, has a second dream, and he was in the library in this dream. And this girl comes up and is like, "You saw Dear David, didn't you?" And he was like, "Who the fuck's that?" He's like, "Yeah, I did. Like, what's going on?" And she was just like, he only comes at midnight. There's like these rules. He only comes at midnight. You can only ask him 2 questions, but you have to start it with Dear David. And if you ask him a third question, he's gonna kill you.
What the fuck? That's
Which
like
seems
that's like
very ridiculous.
serial killer genie.
Kinda. I was just like, what's this? Like, don't you dare. Not 3 questions.
But I mean, you get to ask 2 super cool questions, right?
But would
like,
you? Yeah. You'd have to dodge him for a while to really think about those questions.
Oh, for sure. Like,
But if he's
you can
hot
be
in your
like,
dreams,
what questions
like...
should I ask you?
Well, this guy didn't come up with good ones, that's for sure.
That's true. You suck for what did he write for?
BuzzFeed.
You suck for a fucking BuzzFeed writer.
Boo, you suck.
Come up with better questions, asshole.
You're an idiot.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay.
You're doing very good too.
Whatever, it's your life. So don't ask 3 questions. He's gonna kill you dead. That's pretty much it. So he asked Dear David that night in that dream, "How did you die?" And he said, "An accident in a store." Of course, he doesn't give any more details. So then the second question.
So that's question 1?
That was his first question. It wasn't even like a double-ended question. It was just like, "How'd you die?" Like, just so stupid.
Not what the fuck is the
Are there aliens?
Yeah. I mean, come
We
on,
need facts.
asshole. Anyway, how did you die? Who the fuck cares?
Yeah, and then he said the second question, "What happened in the store?" Not even who did it, just what happened. That was his second question.
See, that's why BuzzFeed sucks. Fuck BuzzFeed.
Yeah. I don't know if I can get down with any of those cooking shows now. So instantly, without thinking, he asked a third question. He said, "Well, who pushed the shelf?" And so he wakes up terrified when he asks the third question, because he's like, "Oh, well, now I'm going to die." So,
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. So he kind of brought this on
Wait,
himself.
so
He knew the rules.
Can you do you have to have the answer to die or to be doomed, or like once the last word is uttered, once the upward inflection has ended,
Yes.
like, are you dead?
No, well, no, because this goes on for 2 more years. So, nope.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
How's he doing now? Is he alive now?
Yeah, he's making some fat cash,
Okay.
and I guess we'll get into it.
All right.
So this...
I don't like skinny cash.
No, only fat, and with a
Skinny cash
PH
is like
only.
skinny bitches.
PH only.
Fuck skinny cash and fuck skinny bitches.
Yes, ain't no good from that. So he tries to Google and see if there's a kid who died in a store from a shelf. Nothing comes up. And he just is forever having these nightmares. So this goes
That sounds
to
terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, reoccurring dreams, like not just the same dream, but like an ongoing story, like that happens to me all the time too. It is kind of weird. Like you just fall asleep and you're like, "Oh fuck, I'm here again." But
I think we talked about this on one show, but it's only happened to me once when I
yeah,
was
it's
a
bizarre.
young kid. And I still remember it though. Like it happened 3 nights in a row.
Oh really? Yeah. I have weird dreams. Probably because I suppress everything so I can keep this really great personality going.
I'm dying inside.
It's fine. Oh, I'm just laugh crying. It's fine. So August 8th, that brings us about to there, and his cats start acting weird. So I have 2 cats. They're weird all the fucking time. I don't think my
That,
house
yeah.
is haunted. So that's where I was like, I wasn't really following it in the beginning because I was like, okay, well, my cats stand up and stare at me all the time, and I think it's just because they're bitches. So I don't know.
I mean, they're cats, so of
So
course they are.
yeah, I mean, ugh.
You know what?
So
Hold on. So I heard somebody's post on Facebook that it's okay to say fuck cats, but you can't say fuck dogs. And I just want to
that's not.
say, yeah, that's
Well,
it.
I like them all. I mean, I do like dogs more, but I also like. Can I do that? Can I have a third child right now? I don't know. That's a lot of
Sure.
responsibility.
That's your choice. Whatever you
Yeah,
want to do. Don't let any man tell you that you can't.
better not. I just don't want one. Everyone wants a dog, and everyone wants me to have a dog. Okay, I'm getting off topic.
Yes.
So he his cats start acting weird in August, and right around midnight, of course, because that's when the girl in that dream said that he comes around, and they're sitting at the door, and he thinks he's hearing stuff, and so he takes like this goes on like a week straight, and so he takes a picture with his phone of the peephole right on his door,
I took a
and
picture of my people once and then I got in trouble.
unsolicited people pics.
Ah, my teacher didn't like it. He was offended.
Oh man. I'm sure he was. That's so funny. So he takes his picture and they post it. And he posts all these pictures too, which also strikes me as odd. So if there's this kind of proof of something weird is happening, why isn't this like all over like Facebook? Like,
It's not like it's
man has ghost
aliens.
pictures to prove it.
Military fucking
So-
confirmation.
Not even, yeah, I mean, the proof's in the pudding. So he takes it, and the girl in the original video that I watched, she said where she thought she saw it, and I didn't see anything there at all, but I genuinely, in that picture that could very well be photoshopped to see lots of things, I thought I saw a face. So I don't know. So I start thinking, I'm about to come get shoot out again.
That's true. Yeah, we did lose video there. Oh,
Oh,
you're getting chewed up by the boy.
yeah, because I can hear the door long before he comes around the corner. Ooh, I'm so sorry.
We may not cut that out. I don't know.
Don't do it. Don't
You
you
got-
dare put my baby on
You got
blast.
toddler cussed out.
Yes, I did. It makes me feel bad, but it makes me feel worse, though. I think it's so funny. So that's August. He takes his picture, and there may or may not be a face in it. And his cats just keep on acting weird, and he gets like an old school little mini Polaroid camera, that shoots out the little baby
Yep.
ones. And
The ones
So-
of the type of pictures that you used to find of your parents under their bed and shit.
yes, but there's new ones, and they're just like
Yeah.
itty bitty, like 2 inches by an inch. So he takes some pictures, and he opens the door into the hallway, takes a picture with his iPhone, everything's normal, takes a picture with this Polaroid, and everything inside the door is just black. So why didn't that work? I don't know. It was just, so he had several of these style of pictures and posted a lot of those. So none of this looks legit enough. And all of his pictures are just in a poor lit room enough that like they're kind of like a little blurry. So it could be edited incredibly easily, I feel like. So I'm still not on board. So this goes through the end of August, and he's still just kind of trucking along with these tweets, stringing everyone along. He sages the fuck out of his house, but in the picture he doesn't have a door open, and if you're just saging your house, you're just chasing the spirits around, not giving them an exit. So that could have been his fault too.
Oh, saging. Saging. I thought you said staging.
Yeah. Sage.
as
Yeah.
in you burn
Good
sage and
old
it's
white
supposed to cleanse
sage.
your house of spirits.
It's an old Indian, yes, ritual that.
All spirits except for you, which I don't know.
Anywho,
That sounds like a kind of a loophole to me.
maybe. So that doesn't work. So a storm comes and he starts recording things at this point on his phone.
Do you know
There's like
what you actually
60
burn
second.
to get all souls out of the room, guaranteed?
What?
Mustard gas. Yeah, that'll get everybody.
Or just
All souls will exit.
everyone's out. All right. Well, maybe I'll put that in my emergency.
Don't do that.
kit.
That's a bad idea.
Okay, then I won't. So there's a storm coming and he falls asleep. There's like alerts on his phone, like an actual storm coming. And he falls asleep and dear David is dragging him through an empty warehouse. And he wakes up and takes a picture of his arm and he's got like a bruise, like a grip of a hand bruise on his arm. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of really interesting stuff. Like, it goes on and on and on. But at the same time, you're like, if there's this much, like, photographic proof, why is this not, like, a thing? So he just keeps having nightmares of this, like, now it's a severed head and it's smiling at him and he's like,
Ooh, that's
oh, it
creepy.
feels great. And he's just like, what the fuck? And he just wakes up and that's that. So this warehouse.
Wait.
that
What feels
he
great? The
had
head is telling
dreamed-
him that it feels great to be just a head?
Well, that's all he says. It feels great in this dream with this severed head.
So maybe this says more about me, but does he have some sort of weird sex dream with about the severed head? Like that seems weird.
Maybe
This
is
feels
about you. I don't
good.
know.
Yeah. Did he say yeah too?
I
Yeah.
don't know. It did not specify. It just said there was some groaning, so possibly. So he sees some dark figures in the windows, and he walks past this warehouse, and it's completely closed off, closed up, nothing in there. But like a little side, like it had like garage doors, and they were all closed, but there was a little door open. So of course he walks in because he's not scared of this ghost already. So let's walk into an abandoned warehouse, and there's nothing in there but a green chair.
What the
How
fuck?
crazy is that?
This green chair feels good.
With a
Weird.
severed
Fucking
head.
weird.
But it had the whole spinal cord. with it.
Oh, so it's like
So it
fucking
was like a big sperm,
Sub-Zero
so-
and shit. Or Sub-Zero? Was that
Yeah.
Scorpion? Who the fuck was that? Who did that?
I
The
don't
Spinal
know.
Tap.
But yes.
Liu Kang? I forget.
So he.
Get over here.
So of course he leaves. He's freaked out. And it
Yeah.
just like shoots out his hand.
Oh, that feels so good.
Right. So yeah. So he runs off, lives his life. Now this is taking us into
Okay.
September at this point.
September.
So yep, September. And then I start getting I strictly got off of that video that you had sent from
Sniper
Wolf
Wolf.
chick, whatever. And
it's not just Sniper Wolf.
'Cause I
it's
forgot to write that down.
Sniper Wolf. It's 3 S's.
Sniper. Oh, like a snake.
Oh, there goes your phone.
Oh, no.
Plop.
Crash. It was mainly just the little candle that was holding it up. I was trying really hard.
You know whose camera doesn't
Not
fall?
hard enough, but
Sniper Wolf's.
yours. Oh. Because she's got millions of followers. That's so funny. Not. So, we're into October, September, end of September, beginning of October. And he has someone like professionally come cleanse his house.
Who the fuck? Wait,
And
whoa. You don't
still,
gloss
it's
over
just
that.
not
Who
really-
the fuck does that? Who the fuck takes money for that? How the fuck do you convince somebody that you're going to take money to cleanse a fucking house? I mean, what the fuck else do you do but sage? Like, I already did that, bro. What the fuck else you got?
It's a thing. Like, well, don't psychics come and do that shit to people's houses too?
Yeah, so do priests and
Yeah.
shit.
Oh, we can't trust none of these guys.
Mm, no, nah. This invisible shit that's not happening that I'm going to charge you to get rid of. We can trust that guy. That guy seems top dollar.
For sure. So, um, into October, okay, so he walks past this warehouse again and he thinks he hears a thud. So this time, no door open, but there's a grate over the door. Like, what are those called? There's a real word for those.
Wonderful, excellent,
Perfect old
superb.
architecture. Home designing at its best.
You said it was great, right?
Oh my god, I can't stand you. So he takes a picture through the through this
I
grate,
suck.
and it is another face picture. So he brightens these photos a lot, and then people will send them, like, take screenshots and like edit them themselves to reveal more in the picture, but it just looks like they edited them themselves to reveal more in the picture. You know what I mean?
Like there's one where there's like a picture of alien or ET like touching like Elliot's hand, but like it's a magazine cutout and he's like on its side, so it looks
Yeah,
like he's floating kind of thing,
kind
but not
of.
really. Or not at all.
I'm
No, that
just
didn't describe
kidding with
anything.
you. So we're into November now, and he
We're still 2017?
yes, maybe August,
Okay.
September,
All right.
October, November, yes. So he notices there's a crawl space to an attic, maybe above, but it's above the staircase because he lives in a duplex, upstairs, downstairs style. So weird positioning for that, other than if you would take a ladder from that first step, like I guess the other way. But that still seems sketchy because that's a long fall. So he hears something, he's not sure, and he calls his landlord and says, maybe you should check it out if there's an animal in there or something. So he comes and he looks in and he's like, oh, I don't see anything. I don't see anything. And he's like, oh, wait, here's something. And it's like an old 1900s style, like leather shoe. Just one, and an old ass marble. So that's weird, I guess. But the shoe's big. Like, it's definitely looks like the shoe of like a 6-7-year-old, definitely. So, and in the pictures, the kid looks much smaller.
Wait, did you say it was
I thought
big?
the shoe looked pretty big. So
For us, it looked like not like Ronald
no,
McDonald.
just like a 6 or 7-year-old. But in all these pictures, this dear David looks like a toddler.
Oh.
You know what I mean? He's short as fuck.
Oh.
So he goes to Japan and sets his house up for like motion kind of thing, like it'll snap pictures or start recording when they sense motion. And
what do you do in Japan?
I think he was just like, it was just like it just said like a vacation. It didn't really say anything specific. He clearly made good money work for BuzzFeed. So just traveling.
If he wrote stories like this.
And this is all just on his personal Twitter feed. And he's just kind of a weirdo about it. But he discovers a real dear David, I guess, per se. Someone who has like a very similar backdrop story, yada yada. But this murder victim from 1921, Little Ford Fauntleroy, I don't know, but he's 6 to 7 years old.
Little Lord Fauntleroy?
Yeah, is that like a real thing? I do not know who that is.
I think he was a character, like a elitist, foppish, spoiled brat child thing.
Oh, interesting. I was like, if I had more time, I was gonna like look it up and see, but they kind of like left it as it was unsolved and they didn't know. But that was the closest thing to maybe a real Dear David they could find. But he was somewhere between the ages of 6 or 7, which I thought was double interesting because those shoes were of a bigger child.
Ooh.
That was the only thing that was like, ooh, that's neat. But that was still one of the few things I was like, oh, that made more sense. But then they never got back into it, and it found that he died in Wisconsin at a quarry, and it was an unsolved, and that was it. So while he's gone,
That
it
would
takes
probably
like,
bash your head in.
I mean, yeah. So could be. Oh, one more thing about Japan. He was looking at some sculptures and art and touristy shit, and the child that the like stone figure was holding had a fucked up head too. And so he was like, "What? Has he followed me to Japan? Like, what is this?" Like, they were saying, like, "Oh my gosh, it looks exactly like that drawing you did," and it does not at all. It just looks like it almost looks like it's just weathered. Like, maybe the rain hits it there or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little
Yeah.
flat, but it's not like a quarter of his head missing. So
Yeah.
that didn't add up. So I just let that one go as quick as.
Maybe he exaggerated for the picture though too.
Well, absolutely, it all seems like it's an exaggeration. So that was okay. So now we're at the end of November. That was the real Dear David. So into December, he gets 60 pictures that clearly
Of
like
beer.
this. No, of the kid, like, but that takes pictures every 60 seconds or whatever. Like, it snaps a picture,
Okay.
and he got pictures, and it was like obviously like almost like there's just a kid there. So to say that it was like a ghost, well, even in all the ghost stuff I've seen, I've never seen it resemble so clearly like a person sitting there, or like a doll maybe, I don't know. But he sees the camera, like it's like in this like series of pictures, like he's sitting in this chair, he stands up, he's standing on the bed over top of him, and then he looks up. There's one where he's like looking up at the camera, and then the next one is just like these like gross old doll head hair, like real close to the camera, like it saw it and was coming to like move it, or I don't know, something. But that series of pictures like almost ruined the whole thing for me because they were so over the top clear. It just it didn't make sense for it to even be that clear. So it lost me there a little bit.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm thinking back to like all of the horror movies that have like the supernatural horror movies, and almost always across the board, that's always scarier to have like the if the villain is, or the ghost or monster or whatever is just a little out of focus, or isn't seen, or like you
Yeah,
just isn't clear
it's
in
so
some way or
clear.
another.
It
Yeah.
is. He's wearing a stripy sweater. Like, it's just clear as fuck. I could tell you if he's got like sweater balls on his side. Like, it's that clear. It's
Sweater
stupid.
balls.
I
That's what
don't
they
know
used to
why
call me
that's
in high
the
school.
one. Why would that be the one thing I try to see in the picture? Because I really love laundry, I guess. The
Oh.
fuck. Oh man. Anywho, so this is in December. He goes home. That was like the beginning of December. So he goes home for Christmas to Montana, and he thinks he's followed there. Like, he can't get any rest. He feels this weird pressure. Blah 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 blah. And then he sees, lo and behold, out the window, very tiny footprint tracks in the snow, leading nowhere, with no drop from a fall, not coming out of anything, just starting and walking off. So even if this is made up, I'd like to know how he did that, unless it was just like technology magic. You know what I mean? Like, he'd have to have like a stick to like push in the shoe. Like, it was just little footprints in deep snow.
Or walk
So
forward and just walk backward in the
interesting.
same steps. That's always possible.
Yeah, but they were little. It looked like
Oh.
kid or an animal maybe, but when he showed me
Well,
up
he
close
obviously
picture,
had
it was.
access to a kid, right?
I hope so. Hopefully one that was his own. That seems good.
No, it's one
So
that he puts in the cupboard when he's done.
it's Dear David's sister.
It's you gotta that's what happened to David. That's like you have to squish him a little bit in the cabinet. To get a little too big, you have to squish him a little harder.
Squish, squish. So he starts having dreams. Has a very specific dream that this character this character, Dear David, falls on him just like a flat fall from the ceiling down, wakes up with all this pressure in his chest, can't breathe, and of course this camera got them the motion action got a picture of that too. So he's just got incredible proof for every single thing he says now. So
Nice.
I feel bad. Maybe I'm telling this story like he's definitely full of shit, but end of day, kinda. I'm still waiting to be like, I'm still waiting to prove to myself, like maybe redoing it, that like, yeah, maybe this is true, but it doesn't seem like
Have you
it.
seen the new Nightmare on Elm
So
Street?
his cat. No.
Okay. Have you seen the old one? Actually, the scenes in both of them. There was the remake.
No. Well, I saw the no, not the remake. I saw the original one.
Remember
but
that?
like a long ass time ago. I was like a young teenager.
Do you remember that scene where he's killing that chick in her sleep and he floats? They like she's floating horizontal above her bed like 10 feet. And he slashes her and she falls. So Dear David falls on him like that.
Falls. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Creepy. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. But he woke up with chest pain. So even if it's not true, it was a good story writing. Like it was like a lot of great details.
My chihuahua sometimes jumps on me. It sucks too.
My cats do it too. Oh man, it's awful. It scares the bejesus out of me because I think it's one of the kids. I don't know why I would think Gibson could do that, but it scares me for a split second. So there's in the course of all this, there'll be like breaks. There'll be like a month and there's not anything on Twitter, nothing going on. And then he comes back and he's like, okay, so this is happening now. So come mid-January, end of January, he posts a picture, just normal. He's with a friend. They go to brunch, and he posts a picture of the food, and he posts a selfie with him and this friend. And then supposedly everyone sends him these screenshots where the picture is all fucked up, and like a quarter of his head looks like a kid's head. It was very interesting.
Weird.
But looked very, yeah. So that happened, and then at the end of the January, yeah, not just regular January, but the January. So, okay. So, January, his cats start acting weird again. Someone thinks there's a face in one of the pictures that he posted of this one particular cat that seems to really sense Dear David. Because I guess cats are weird like that. I don't know. So, he has lots of pictures of the cats. Lots and lots and lots. I don't know that could equates as proof, but he has them. In February, he quits his job at BuzzFeed that he worked full-time at. To pursue other projects in drawing, he says. So from February, very beginning of February to mid-February, end of February, you don't hear anything. And he just posted a weird short post that says, everything will be like it used to before. And that was it. So nothing else happens. But come June, it comes out that Dan Lin, who produced it, was going to do the story of Dear David as a movie. So then everyone kind of took to his Twitter like, well, are you going to come and say anything about it? So he just gets on and says that this is what's happening. And then he kind of jumps back into the story a little bit. The warehouse was open again, but the only thing inside was a hearse. And that was weird. He's like, I guess
that's not a green chair.
Not a green chair, but a hearse. So yikes. So that was in August. At the end of August, he starts getting no caller ID phone calls. Answers one of them just to see, what happens. And there's just a faint breathing and a hello. And that was it. And August and September, you just don't hear anything until then again. So there's just a big, huge break. And he just comes back and has more pet videos and a turtle falling off a shelf and a chair starts rocking. So a little bit more of that. Kind of just jumps into it. And then he, that was just kind of it. There's just going to be this movie and I'm interested. I don't know, maybe it'll make me want to watch it. Like I get that, like I've seen scary movies. I don't like ever, especially when I have kids, like I don't watch a lot. You know what I mean? I'm not seeing a lot of new stuff. I don't have time to do that, I guess. But I want to see it and see how they kind of move and shake things and turn it into something that seems more real. Or will they just use like the creepy pictures that he had?
I see it looking a lot like Coraline,
Yeah.
Tim Burton,
Hmm.
or a lot like, I think it would be more animated than like. Did they say live action?
They didn't say. It just said. Well, where's the guy's name? Mike Van Waves. He did like some spin-off stuff, so not even anything like major. Um, he swears that it's real, and so I assumed he quit his job because he's going to be working and making the money off of this movie, and felt like he could afford that.
Maybe.
So
Are you familiar with the story of the three brothers in Beetle of the Bard?
I don't know. No, I guess not. If you're going to say
I
that, but
sorry,
sometimes I
that's
know stories I
obscure.
don't, and things are. I was like,
The story of the three hollows from Harry Potter.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yeah, sorry, I came at that really obscure.
Yeah. Oh man.
Anyway, the way they tell it, I can see it looking like that too. Okay. Well, Katie, that was an excellent story. Thank you for telling it to us.
It was interesting, especially because I knew nothing about it. So then I couldn't help but like dive in as much as I could and read, because I was like, well, prove it to me then. Prove it to me. So oh, that is brutal.
Yeah.
I am a liar. He's gonna go tell Gibson I am a liar. I'm like, you wake up that baby and tell him I'm a liar, I'm gonna knock you out.
All right. Well, real quick. If you've been doing a really good job, thank you, Katie. Our numbers are up. Thank you for
Yay.
listening. They seem to really like you. If they want to tell you how excellent you're doing, where can they tell us?
Man, they could send an email, highermindspodcast@gmail.com, or they could send a message on Facebook, Higher Minds Podcast, or Instagram. You can send messages there and tell me how awesome I am.
Yeah. There's Papa Darby too. I'm on there.
Yeah, he's there too. But
yeah, he is.
The website. And
there's the website.
Maybe the website. Yeah. So those are all really good options. highermindspodcast.com.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Good stories.
Yes.
This has been the Higher Minds Podcast. I'm Papa Darby.
I'm Katie.
Deuces.
Bye.